All right, welcome into another loadout race. Here today, we've got Bandit again. I feel like we've seen Bandit about as much as we've seen Rex lately. It's been like Bandit or Rex, Bandit, Rex, Bandit, Rex, and then there's always Void Fiend as the tiebreaker, but the tiebreaker never happens. But I mean, hey, that's what happens when I leave it up to complete random chance for these seeds. There's just other things that happen. I remember in week 1 it was all multi. Week 4 it was all loader. Racer always changes, unless it's engineer. It's never engineer. I think throughout the whole league we've only seen him 3 times so far. Who knows if we'll see him in week 7? But we've got a race here as an energy drink is already found. As JD stream poofs. Oh, there it is. All right, it's back. In the top left, we've got Karn, owcarn, coming in with a backup mag out of the gate. That's really good. I think backup mag, yeah, and Ken's just below Karn, picking that up as well. Karn, I would say, even at the 17th seed, my opinion, the favorite to win this loadout race. We saw over in week 5, Karn putting up, I believe it was a sub 30, I forget. Somewhere around there. But played really good, played really fast, just was up against 2 really well-versed veteran racers in Ruddy and in Zinc. But here with this loadout, here with a backup mag, already... Oh, there's another backup mag as well you can even go for. You probably want the watch. You only really need 1 backup. Or you take Opal and get 1. Regardless. It's going to be a hemorrhage run, most likely. Could see some giga hemorrhage value. With watches, I mean, honestly, a watch is more value in that. And I'll bat chest over hemorrhage. I always do. I'm a firm believer that if you just get movement speed and get a little bit of hemorrhage and deal with phase 2, well, get a couple items for that, whether it be a little bit of proc chain, whether it be a little like a band or 2. I mean, Bandit is really... He kind of plays himself out just from getting double damage from behind. Right, really good value, really good damage, just off the backstab alone. Unfortunately, with this TP, the Vagrant spawning on the way outside, kind of hard to pull the Vagrant in and get those backstab shots. We see Karn doing that now, actually. We see JD just kind of playing from a safe spot here in the valley. Don't want to get sniped by those orbs. Oh, stream freezes. This might be a Mayan moment. Sorry about that. We see the Vagrant for JD get killed as we get some really cool stained glass effects going on. Not every day you get to see live action stained glass on your monitor, but here we are in the hosting league in week 6. There's a broken watch for Disturby. Disturby, who hasn't even activated the TP yet, lost a watch. It's not something you want to have happen. Has no healing, down to 23 health. Again, Disturby needs to get at least 3rd place in this race in order to remain competitive, in order to remain having a chance to make it into the tournament. Right, Disturby entered this racing league only having gotten through about Eclipse 2, Eclipse 3, right? We've seen some improvements from her throughout the league, but it is still learning some of the basics. Definitely learning a bit faster. I've been seeing more completions from her as time has gone on. Here we go. We get to see a leeching seed with all the giga healing value from that. And she's going to go ahead and try and get some more health before activating TP. Meanwhile, though, Karn and Ken's the 2 favorites, in my opinion, to win this loadout. Already on stage 2, we see some items. We see that Ken's has an additional energy drink, has the backup mag. Karn, meanwhile, opted for a Opal, right? A little bit more of a safe option. If you get hit and you don't have much healing, right? We know that there's a leeching seed that Karn has. That Ken's doesn't. Right? Nope, don't want to get a +5. If you get a +5, it's 5 minutes down the drain, and you're in a bad spot. But if there's no +5s at all, and you do go aggressive, and you get all the good items that just help you deal damage faster, that help you get through the run faster, I would say Ken's has the better setup, has the better build right now. Needs to hit TP soon, though. If she wants to remain on par with Karn. Par with Karn. Beetle Queen is the boss. And it's probably the easiest survivor to kill Beetle Queen with. Right? They stand still forever. They barely turn around. And even if you just kind of get close to them, it already counts as being behind. Karn actually tries to get the shot, but that's the one time they do turn around is when they shoot out the beetles, or hornets. And while those two are kind of having a race on their own, JD and Disturby on the right. Still on stage 1, JD is done with the TP though. Gets both an elixir and a watch. Doesn't have any backup max, but it's going to get an opal, doing a little bit of macro economy here. In our loadout race, which isn't that bad. Of course, if both Karn and Ken's do die a couple times, right? If they're not as careful as maybe JD's been, could see JD sneak up and take a point or two. We saw that happen in loadout 1 between Zwicky and Goji. Zwicky was at least able to get in second place, being the only racer deathless. Disturby, meanwhile, having only just started the TP fight, getting some shivs in. There we go. Love to see that. It's going to get ready for this Vagrant to burst. It's going to start glooping. Gets behind, though. Gets the shot. Oh, my God. Level up. But getting the crit in. Comes in clutch. Disturby, without a death, finishes off the boss. Well done. That was clean. Oh God. I spoke too soon. Okay, nope. There we go. Smoke bomb. You don't want to get yourself in a spot where you're going to get like surrounded by enemies and get stuck. That can happen. That's why it kind of helps to jump a little bit. If they get over you, it's over. There's a crowdfunder and a fuel cell on Karn. Name a better synergy than that. But we do see another equipment. This one... Oh, a Sommering. Okay, now you can... If you thought that you're in a setup where you can't go fast yet, now you're in one. Getting a Sommering is Karn with a Needle Tick. That's a lot of debuffs. If you get... I mean, you got the Bleed from the Sommering, you got the Needle Tick. That's probably going to proc from it as well. You got Hemorrhage. That's 3. That's easy setup for Deathmark. And that's going to be able to clear off the stage 3 boss. It could be Grove Tender, it could be a Doomstrider, it could be an Overlord. Whatever the case, it's going to die. So don't worry, it's just another freeze. Looks like Mayan's internet was having a day during this one. And during that time, we see JD losing an elixir and a watch. Might die from this overloading. Look out, JD. Oh, jeez. Down to 41 health, gets the fuel cell from the boss, though. Hasn't died. You don't want to die if you're JD. You want to stay competitive. You want to try and slowly catch up to maybe some of the other racers to catch up to Ken's and Karn, who both are done with the TP. Karn actually on stage 3 now with that Sommering. And I believe Ken's is... Oh, no. Farming pennies a little bit. Okay, wants a little bit more from this stage. That's $220. Can get about 3.5 items, maybe 4 if you farm a little bit more. But what else could you get from this stage? Not sure. Actually, you know, I just thought about it. Ken's has pennies and Karn doesn't. Yeah. Ken's currently the only racer with pennies. And finds a Sommering, takes a Sommering. Huge value again. Just looting up a little bit more. Thanks to all that thanks to those pennies, able to end up actually getting that. Gets a large chest. And that's a feather. A feather that Karn isn't going to have. There's the Needle Tick. That's going to set up for a potential Deathmark, maybe. We'll see. Oh, wait, no, that's a Tensa Bubble. So there's another Void Cradle, then. Another Void Cradle that Ken's won't be able to get. JD, I believe, working on some graphic settings. Oh, is Ken's really trying? Okay, gets hit by a beetle. Has a $8 to spare, gets a stun grenade. Okay. Well, thankfully you didn't lose your watch from there, so maybe Ken's did their homework. understands how much a beetle does at level 8, almost level 9, when you have 1 repulsion armor plate as bandit. At XP level 7 with that percent of health. Karn immediately annihilates the boss, and while we did mention that Karn missed out on the shuriken on stage 2, the shuriken that Ken's got, the shuriken that perhaps Disturby or JD might get, well, the stage 2 or stage 3 TP, right? Just one Samarang, boom, there's a shuriken. So it's going to be a lot more damage. Right, the loadout here, speaking of damage, they're using burst, not blast. So getting those long-range, high-damage shots can be kind of cool. They're also not using Desperado, they're using Lights Out, so we're going to be seeing a lot more medium-ish, high damage shots as opposed to the build-up of Desperado. The Shuriken adds into the mix, could be pretty cool. JD being done with the TP, looks at the other equipment, it's like, should I keep the Ocular HUD? Gets a healing drone. Healing drone that none of the other racers got. Okay. That's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a huge diversion. It's also a form of healing. Do any of the other racers have healing? Aside from the Leeching Seed, I'm looking, and I guess it's just the brooch for, like, slight recovery. Is this the one you're after? Yes. This is the one. Karn trying to defend the Squid Polyp, trying to make sure it doesn't get infested. Could end badly for JD. Or did I say Karn? I meant to say JD. My bad. JD is done with that. Gets the Tensa Bobble. That's another debuff, actually. If any of the racers get both... Oh, yeah. Yeah, JD already lost the watch, so doesn't need to think about losing this one here. He's going to get Needle Tick. That's 4 debuffs. That is 4 debuffs for JD. JD can get that plus 50% damage buff just from one item now. That's huge. Okay. Slung Grenades picked up. That was the one that... Oh, that's a Disturby. Disturby, who, again, has activated TP, has gotten a little bit slower than the other racers, right? Is opting more to play of a full loot style of get the items and then activate TP and then try to do anything else with the printers and then leave, right? It's working so far in terms of not dying, which has been something that Disturby's been working on, right? We've seen a few loadouts be completed from her in the past. Right, just a little bit slower and has yet to be able to get any points on the board, which is, again, it's a huge opportunity for her to do that in this loadout. We say, well, I mean, it still has to activate TP, but if Blade's safe enough, could pull it off. As, okay, we are getting some more lag again. Mine, you don't remember anything from the race? Probably you didn't see much. Yikes. Mac likes to do that for some reason. Hopefully, you just got a new PC recently, right? Hopefully that one's able to go for the full gamer setup here. Yeah, shout out to Mayan. Got a new PC, able to play this game now. You cannot play Risk of Rain on Mac. Fun fact. Well, you have to like do it through emulation and stuff, and it's really weird. And like mods barely even work for it. So there's that. Large chest next to Disturby. What's this one for 160? Oh, I think that's the feather. It's a feather that Ken's got that Karn didn't. Karn, speaking of which, as I stopped paying attention for like 2 or 3 seconds, already on stage 4 and already hitting the TP. Watch this. It's going to walk behind. There we go. Samarang crit. Does half the health. Does the other half. Oh, yep. There we go. Instant death. It's a pauldron. The boss's item. Not exactly the most inspiring, but we do see that Karn is understanding the situation, is playing Bandit, has a little bit of speed. If you're Ken's here, right, you want to go a little bit faster than what you're already going. You got a feather, you got a backup mag, you can hemorrhage Mithrix to death. I guess you can get some healing with that Harvester Scythe, which isn't bad on Bandit, given the already 100% healing, or 100% crit from behind. Better than nothing. Will now be walking over to the TP, but needs to catch up as Karn is slowly moving on ahead. Right, both have equal amounts of speed items as well, as Karn is now at 2 energy drinks, so is Ken's. Ken's with the feather, though. I feel like if there's a feather on stage 5, Karn's going to be in a really good spot. Right, because that's the one advantage that Ken's has over Karn. That and the backup mag. You get the feather, you're pretty much untouchable, unstoppable. Maybe a pillar skip would be nice too, maybe if it's a safer spaces somewhere. There is this Void Seed. Oh, a Void Seed that's been cleared by Karn. There's no more Void Seed for Karn. It's probably thinking about going over there after. Yep, it's going to run over now. Doesn't immediately want to leave. Has 1,080 bucks. Oh, Disturby took a death. As we get a little bit more of a lag experience here. 20, or at 16 minutes. Not sure if it was a double Beetle Queen. I don't think it was. I think it was a single Beetle Queen. And then the game decided, hey, what if we gave you 500 Wisps? And there it is. Look at the bottom right. Look how many Wisps there are. No gasoline or anything to handle them. But you do have Lights Out. Or if you land some Lights Out shots, as long as you're behind them, you can just one-shot them. But that's probably going to be a second death here. As with no cover and not taking them down is Disturby. Right, still on stage 2 while the others, I mean, JD's on stage 3. Ken's and Karn are on stage 4. And now Disturby is in trouble. 2 deaths down. Right, has a lot of pennies. I guess he got 1,200 bucks plus. But needs to just take these Wisps down. Now, with a mending one showing up, right, you want to take that down first. And just in a really, really bad spot. Might potentially take a death number 3 here. This is where you want to be running in circles. You want to make sure that the Wisps aren't shooting you every time. Right, notice how Disturby is just kind of standing still. Just kind of taking the full front. Maybe might be like walk strafing. Walk strafing isn't going to be enough unless you have like 10 hooves. Get some sprints in there. Always want to sprint after every shot. You want to be running in circles around your enemies. And, I mean, Wisps will still get you a little bit, but can significantly reduce the amount of times that you get hit. First death was from Beetle Queen Splash? Okay. Karn going for the other Void Cradle. Or Cradle number 1. Ended up taking the Void Crit. Which, again, not terrible on Bandit. It's not really much of a purpose of having front-facing crit. Oh, and Ken's actually took it as well. So we get freeze number 10. And Mayan's trying to figure out what's going on with his PC. Come on, Mayan. Someone get this guy better internet. Okay, here we go. Mac moment. Over. Oh, we actually get to see the blue portal. Disturby is at 2 deaths, but, I mean, if you get spare drone parts here, you have 1 healing drone, you have a few gunner turrets. Oh, there's a clover. Do you go for that? You don't want to lose your feather. Well, I don't see you get from a clover down the line. I mean, there's a sticky bomb on Ken's. There's... Is that really it? A stun grenade, I guess, from stage 2? Yeah, there's not really much value from the clover, and Disturby sees that. I guess Void Crit, Tentabobble, Needle Tick, yeah, the Void items. A lot of proc-based Void items. There's a H0sting printer. and hopefully, Disturby doesn't get stuck in that trap. If you get a H0sting and you're Bandit, you get Giga Bleed. You get Giga DPS. I don't think there's any gun on stage 5 or stage 3 though. There was no gun equipment as well throughout the run. No recycler to recycle into a gun. So all that H0sting printer is gonna do for Disturby now, you know, at the start of stage 3 and with JD leaving the stage 4, I don't think we saw anything. I don't know if JD saw that and got baited by it. I mean, all the other racers saw it. Pretty much spawn on it. There's a singularity band on Ken's. I don't hate the idea. I think it's a good chance to get more hemorrhage stacks in. Ken's trying to deal with a bunch of imps in the middle of an adaptive chest. Ends up not being able to get any item from it with the hermit crabs as well. Oh, Ken's hasn't even activated stage 4 TP. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why I thought that Ken's was done. Yeah, Ken still needs to do the TP, and this actually opens up the door for JD. Karn's on stage 5. Karn's looking pretty comfortable. Right, doesn't have the feather yet, which is definitely good for Ken's. But aside from that, I mean, it is Bandit, so you get the hover from Smoke Bomb. You get a lot of invisibility with Smoke Bomb. Right, instantly annihilates the boss. Look at the damage on that. Ken's gonna realize, okay, maybe I'm going a little bit too slow. Maybe I need to speed up a little bit. Ban good for backstabs on Mithrix. Oh, absolutely. It's more time for hemorrhage. It's more time for backstabs. I completely forgot about the backstab stuff. Because he just kind of stands still there. He doesn't turn around. He'll eventually dash and look at you. But it gives you time to kind of get around. There's Bleed. Turns into Needle Tick. How many Needle Tick do we see on Karn? We see 5 Needle Tick on Karn. Okay. Interesting. With Burst, that could be cool. Because Needle Tick isn't based around, like, how much... whatever your proc coefficient is. All that does is chance percent. With Bleed, the higher or lower your proc chance is, the shorter the duration is of the bleed. Instead with Needle Tick, it's just like, oh, okay, it's going to be less common. But Bleed also gets affected by rarity. So what will happen is you'll have Bleed getting double affected by proc coefficients, which is why if you have a proc coefficient of like 0.2, 0.3, and it's not like rapid fire full upkeep, it sucks. But on Needle Tick, you get the same damage, 1.0 or 0.001, as long as it procs. We see JD on the TP, the third one, the TP. Ken's actually did a really, really fast stage 4 TP. Gets a red item, just enough money. It's Alien Head? That'll definitely help for hemorrhage. Right, you're going to be getting that a lot faster. Mithrix will die a lot quicker, right? You have that watch that Karn also has, though. And Karn's going to be getting the Mithrix a lot sooner. Right, so you think about things like that. You're like, okay, well, I've got an extra, like, let's just say I have all the void items, I have maybe like an extra damage item, and it's like, yeah, well, I'm at Mithrix 12, 13 minutes sooner. Right, which kind of negates that. It's not much, right? I'm not saying time is everything, but time definitely helps. It also means less ads for Karn. And even on the stage 5 TP, right? It's just less everything you have to worry about. If you can loot fast, and get items fast, right? I feel like Ken's maybe has 5 items more. Still needs to do TP and is getting to it now as we see another freeze happen. I do apologize for the disruption here as we get back into it. There's this eye construct on Ken's that they have to worry about. And while that's happening, poor Disturby on stage 3 TP, taking a lot of hits here, down to 51 HP. You can't afford many more deaths if you want to try and at least get a completion and have a chance for the loadout too, to be able to come back and sneak through. And again, I feel like one of the things that Ken still just needs to work on is running around in those circles. And yeah, you also don't want to stand inside the circle of the Imp Overlord as it spawns in on you. That'll actually hurt you for a little bit. Yeah, want to work on moving in circles. You want to work on constantly just being on the run. If you're Ken's. Or not Ken's, if you're Disturby, sorry. Sorry, Ken's, you're doing okay. You are still deathless. I'm talking about Disturby here, my bad. Yeah, with Disturby down with 3 deaths. Right, you can't really afford too many more. I would say you could maybe die once more total throughout this run. And if you die any more than that and don't play super fast or have something really cool happen at some point, it could probably, most likely land in the DNF. Here's shortcut number 2, which will help Disturby out a little bit. Oh, 7 health, 1 health. It's the lag. It's really kicking down on the bottom right. And that's another death. Death number 4 now. All the other racers, deathless. Disturby in a really bad spot. Oh, geez. Might take another death. If there's another death, it's probably just going to be DNF territory. Oh, geez. You really just got to back out. No one to back out. No one to just take a step back, heal up a little bit. Maybe you do just as much damage from afar as you do up close. And there's, yeah, death, yet another death. Even after the TP's at 100%, just taking these needless deaths is disturbing. Now at 5, and only has 15 minutes to finish after first place at this point. I guess farmed a lot of pennies, though. Is that $4,300? There's a hard light on Karn? Oh my god. Man, what are the hard lights today? We've seen so many of them. At least in the last race, and now in this one, we saw a hard light, we saw an alien head, and the legendary chest. And Karn's gonna move on to the moon. We'll see. I mean, it all depends if Kens decides to loot up the stage or not. Right, if Kens decides to loot up, there's apparently not that much good. You can get a quail, you can get a hard light, which would be kind of nice, but you already got the feather. Right, it's not exactly necessary to find that hard light, it's just a little bit of a speed up. If Kens decides to leave right now, they've got a good chance. JD making it to stage 5 now. A solid stage behind. We also get to see Disturby going through the blue portal number 2. The first one was a clover. We've seen Disturby in her best scenario, in her best setup, in a situation with Drone Man. Just really knows how to... Oh my god! Holy! Look at that! Loses the feather, but there's an ATG suit right next to an ICBM suit. And boom, there we go. Double ATG, an ICBM. You don't really want to go too much more, and you don't want to lose your movement speed. And, I mean, imagine if you had the clover with that. If this was a full loot run, holy... This would be, like, one of the easiest runs ever. Okay, I mean, there's your chance. You can't die again. You already took 5 deaths if you Disturby. That's 25 minutes. You're going to need the other racers to really mess up, but if they do mess up, she's got a chance. And Ken's looting up. Let's see. Gets a watch. Guess that was a nice pickup. Finds a med kit. There is an ice band on stage 5, I think. Unless that was a stage 4 pickup. Another focus crystal. Okay. And I think this is the afterburner. No, it's not. It's the quail. Okay. Honestly, I almost feel like the quail's better in a lot of ways. If you already have the alien head, you're going to be getting smoke bomb like crazy. I think alien head afterburner, though. Isn't that a pillar skip? Is that or it's alien head after... and it might be double alien head with afterburner. It's like one of the slowest skips ever. You're probably going to be better off just double dipping into design pillars, but that could be interesting. Not today, though. It's from the chance shrine that JD was just at. That one? No, a different one. Damage chest for JD, by the way. Focus crystal, first one. JD's really missing out on a lot of damage items. Having lost that watch on stage 1 really has kept composure. Right, even after all that. Right, had the watch lost the elixir, but didn't die. And that's the one important thing for JD here. If the other 2 racers mess up, right, the other 2 racers on the moon right now, they have to do pillars, and there could be a chimera or something silly that happens. 2 Kens, 2 Karn that could end in death. And I feel like just with 1 death, Karn or JD would be able to catch up. As oh my god, even with the double ATG and ICBM, I mean, Disturby is on a race to the finish to at least try and get a completion. Is essentially going to DNF unless she could finish first. Which, I guess if you beelined every single TP and just took a billion deaths and went full Killer Bunny 979, there's a chance, but that's never really something you even want to do. Right, because it backfires so easily, and it's such an easy loadout like this. You gotta assume that someone else is struggling just as much as you are. Oh, here we go. Karn's gonna mess up, maybe. Was a perfected orb out there? I don't know where it went. Oh, I think it just went for a drone. Okay, Karn's fine. There's a Frost Relic suit a quail soup. Ken's going through all the soups trying to see what there is. There's a clover soup? I don't want to do that. Again, there's not really much you're going to proc off of that other than Needle Tick and other than Tentabobble. I guess the solo Sticky Bomb, if you're Karn. Fireworks found on JD, LOL. Still needs to activate TP. Still needs to have the other racers die for JD to really have a chance. Disturby now down to a 5-minute finish after Mithric's fight is done. It's probably going to take another death. It's just death leaping right now. Just kind of having fun with the wings. It's always fun. Oh my god, what's down to 1 health there? Still alive? Come on, hey. Value those lives. You don't want to die. Every death's 5 minutes. Hang in. Hold tight. And holding tight has been Karn, the first one onto the Mithric's fight. Ken's, though, I mean, having taken a lot less time to loot stage 5, even after taking that, like, really long time on stage 4. It's gonna just do this blood shrine, not get attacked by anything at all. Oh, wait. Walks out at the 1 second mark? Yeah, it's done, though. Needs to go fast. You gotta go really fast if you're Ken's. Because you definitely have the better DPS. Uh-oh. Okay, well, Ken's... We'll see their knowledge? Okay, it's kind of more just playing the I hope I don't take too much fall damage game. Does it have Opal? Only at half health because of the Blood Shrine. So you really can't take that much damage. You don't want to lose your watches either. Okay, land safely. But after that mistake, I mean, loses time off of that. And, I mean, Karn's a whole phase ahead. Damage is going to have to be really good for Ken's here. For this to go through. And Ken's doesn't have the watches. Or, does have watches. Doesn't have the band. As Disturby finds a firework printer, starts going into it. I don't blame it. Go all in. Have fun. Have fun with that build. You finally, I mean, Disturby found the insta GG at this point. Just having a blast, trying to see how much damage can be dealt. Knows she probably won't win at this point, but hey, you know what? That's a part of the fun. JD also deathless. About 98, 99%. If one of those racers just accidentally takes a double death, I feel like JD could easily catch up and get in second place. And there it is right there. Karn just lost a bottle. Thankfully had a bottle. Any other bottles? No. Just the one. Has 2 watches. Right? So that bottle alone from getting hit from that Wisp Orb, right? If not for that bottle, would be down 40% DPS, which would be really good if you're Ken's. And we get another freeze. I'm sorry. Look at the bungus coming out of the adaptive chest. I wonder what item Disturby's going to get from that. Oh, it was armor piercing rounds. Okay, and we're back. No new deaths or anything like that on anyone's screen. You know, apologize for the technical difficulties on this one. This one's on Mayan's Mac. The good news is, again, there is a new PC for Mayan. Mayan can now be awakened, can be awoke, and learn the true powers of actually having a PC. And maybe good internet as well. Alright, Tentabobble is found on JD. It's now at 2 Tentabobble, actually. I think the only one at that. Karn actually never took Tenta, just stuck with the eventual Chronobubble that was picked up. Oh, that was the same one from stage 5. Karn's on phase 3. Unless he takes a death right here, Karn is gonna win. Probably no bonus points unless Ken's takes a death, though. It's looking pretty unlikely like anyone's gonna die here, unless it's a random pizza. JD accidentally took the, or who took the Void Band ends up getting an Ice Band. So it's without that. Right, we also know that Ken's went for that band. But we could see some good value from it, right? It's a little bit more crowd control. It's more chances to be able to get behind enemies and deal some good damage. And that's done. Oh my god, that last pizza on Karn almost took him out. JD taking a little moment to breathe, taking a little moment to pause, maybe. Looks like is exiting the monitor to try to check something on a different screen for a second. Maybe got a text from mom, who knows. Is ordering the pizza, getting the victory pizza already set up after loadout 2, where JD gets 5 points, double bonus. The Karn's done with the TP, or not TP, Mithrix fight. And as Karn is done, going back, or going over to the ship, right, we take a look at real time. It is synced up perfectly with Ken, so Ken's is not going to be able to win unless Karn somehow miraculously dies or purposely throws, which wouldn't be the first time. So there's still a there's still a chance. Oh, Ken's is actually trying to go for the saw tech. Here we go. Look at Mithrix's health bar, bottom left of the screen. There's the saws going through. Look at all that damage. Oh my god. Mithrix is getting melted, and that's half of Mithrix's health. Successfully pulling off the saw tech is Ken's, and I think that's the second time we've seen saw tech here in the hosting league successfully be used. Good job and well played, Ken's. Huge. And that's going to save Ken's so much time, so much pizza to have to deal with. Oh my god. I didn't expect the saw tech. I still personally can't even pull that off. Right, this is why I'm a caster and Ken's is a racer. This is why Ken's is the 14th seed. I mean, you know, we do know that Karn is a really good racer, and Karn is going to get first place here. Right, as there are only a few seconds remaining. But Ken's is keeping it close. Ken's knows tech. And doesn't need to really pull it off a second time with Slayer on the revolver. Should only be a couple lights out before finishing off, but as we're talking about exactly that, the final time pops up for Karn at 36:52. Oh, you want to be careful, Mayan. Okay, timeout's called right before Ken's is done. Ken's is going to be like, oh, okay. And now we're down to these two. Let's go ahead and get that time again as Ken's finishes off Mithrix. Doesn't get the phase 4 skip down, though. The time to deny bonus points for Karn is... Never find it. Okay, here we go. Time to deny. It's going to be 41:52, which is definitely going to be done by Ken's unless a death happens. Which it doesn't. GG. Unless Ken's dies on the ship. I should mention as well. And then from there, it's going to be up to JD. We'll get a... We'll actually go ahead and put this up now. It is important, in my opinion. Time to complete for JD is going to be... Let's see... 76:52 as a watch is broken from that perfected. Oh, God. JD's in trouble. Right, the other racers went straight down, and JD takes a death, loses 2 watches, loses... Well, the bottle was already lost, and didn't lose 2 watches because one was already broken, but needs to get out of here. Needs to take cover. The other racers, they just went all the way down. They just said, nope, I'm not dealing with this. And JD is panicking. JD doesn't know what to do. Time to complete. I'm getting distracted here. 76:52. But JD needs to, try and pull off an air stall. This is what we saw from some of the others. So they just go down more and more. Unless I'm thinking of a different loadout. Oh boy. Only 40% to go for Ken's, which translates to about 32-ish seconds. No, not even. It's like 20 seconds. It's up to 80 now. JD made it all the way to Blood Pillars. Now the good news for JD is, as long as he finishes by 76:52, we'll get 1 point. But it needs to be finished. And with these wisps, I mean, look at that shot. What was that even? That was a snipe and a half, focusing on the healing drone, redirects onto JD. Oh my god. JD. There you are. It's hiding underneath. Why does it always hide? Oh my god. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 5 months, but... Jeez, what was that wisp shot? I don't even know. I think I saw that happen on a cap stream the other day. Those wisp orbs, man. Full on lock on, full on auto aim. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ken's time. 39:18, finishes about 2.5 minutes slower than Karn. Karn guaranteed to get in first place, but Ken's guaranteed to get in second. Well played to them both. We'll see if JD again can pull this off. As we'll go ahead and update the text there at the bottom. Time to complete 76:52. The time currently 47:54. Can still afford a couple deaths, but doesn't really want to have that happen too much more. Hasn't even started a pillar yet. There is only one design pillar. The other one has to be done either in Soul or over in Blood. But the Blood pillar is currently just a blood bath. As JD picked up 2, now 3 deaths. It's another shot, just curves it and takes a hit. Up to 53 minutes here. Only has 23 minutes now to finish. Things starting to get a little bit more scary. I don't know. It's starting to seem like JD is just getting a little too overwhelmed. Oh, there is 2 design pillars. Just go for those. Design pillars are so much more easy. But pillars are always bait. Yeah, there you go. Screw blood. No enemies over here. Oh, well, now there are, but hold them back. I was handing out those points again. Get distracted. Oh, okay, now there's enemies. But what you can do with this, if you have one blood or design pillar on each island, as another death again goes through JD, and JD just really starting to deal with a run that was so perfect and deathless up until this point here on the moon, just really struggling, not knowing how to deal with ads or dealing with pillars. But what you want to do in a situation like this, if you really want to go deathless and not like read anything, you go from one island to the other. All the land enemies will jump off a cliff, and you just charge the other one until too many enemies show up there, and then you just go back and forth and back and forth. And eventually you get both of them done. Like here come the perfected chimeras. Right, if you're trying to stay here right now, you get in line of sight, you get shot a couple times, you're just dead. As the game of hopscotch goes terribly wrong here for JD. 40-ish, 50-ish%. Here comes the chimera shot. Let's see what happens. And oh, cloaks. Might be okay, we'll see. Misses a Somerang. Has 17 minutes to finish. Really can't afford any more deaths. Maybe might be able to pull off one if there's a good Mithrix fight that's deathless. Right, it was a deathless Mithrix fight for both Karn and for Ken's. So let me finally get this the 3rd time here as Karn gets in 1st place and Ken's gets in 2nd. Well done to both of them. No bonus points, though. Keeping it close. And finally, pillar number 1 is done. Still has to do another, though. Here in the hosting league and here in the risk of resources mod. You only have to do 2 pillars, not have to do 4. Car focused on the golems. Is that what they're called? The golems? Yeah, they are. So you really don't have to deal with the land enemies if they're over on a different island. They don't know how to parkour. It gets a good vengeance kill nonetheless. It's dealing with another wisp. And hello. 2 golems out of nowhere. Hello. They're chilling, having a good time. There's a quail soup. Is that a harpoon or something? It's a little bit of saws in here. Oh, geez, you gotta be careful. I can only say that so many times, though. This is terrifying. Look out. Goes for some backstab, not a bad idea. You do want to kill something, kill it twice as fast, right? Did those perfecteds die? Yeah, they did. So JD finally took care of them a little bit ago. I didn't realize. I mean, they have so much health, I usually just avoid them or try to kill them at, like, spawn. They're finally not here. Instead, or they're just, like, above or something. 85% to go. Oh, jeez. Steps out for a little bit. I think you could stand on top of the pillar and be fine, but better safe than sorry. Oh, there's... nothing, because JD's done. Boom. Can now use the vent to get to the Mithrix Arena. And we'll still have a little bit of time. Looks like wants to check the red soup up there. It's not good. Runs away. Has, what was that, 13 minutes? Yeah, as long as there's no deaths here, which, I mean, one probably will happen. It's my guess. I mean, 77 curse. And after all the tilt of dying 4 or 5 times, was it 6? No, not 6 times. I think that's only 4 deaths. But exploders, I don't want to risk. Well, right. I mean, I usually don't go for it either. I'm just saying, if you do want to technically go in, you can. Now taking another pause here. Getting ready. Alright, gets into the arena eventually. And here we go. Featherless. The only one with the feather was Ken's. Again, has 13 minutes to get through this. And... oh. I mean, if you die once, maybe if you're getting your hemorrhages in. Because what items does JD have? JD has Shuriken, JD has 2 AP rounds. Doesn't have any watches anymore. It's a lot more time on the clock than some of the other racers. And that's a death. Takes another pause. That's death right there. Was playing really aggressive, really up close. Right, was trying to out-predict Mithrix, maybe hope that the healing drone was on him instead, but with that death, I mean, we're really cutting it close here. Got maybe 7 minutes, at least getting Mithrix down to go to the center. Which at this point, you can kind of play around him towards the center, use your Shiv, build up some hemorrhage, get Mithrix dead. Oh, it's going to be a dash, and that's going to be a hit, yeah. Mithrix has this weird, or not weird, but how his AI works is he has different attack options. He will try to shoot needles at you if you're really far away. If you're kind of just far away, he'll try to sprint at you. And if you're close to him, he will go for a dash attack. And then from the dash, he always goes into a different attack. Sometimes. Unless he wants to go back up to the center of the arena. Because he can cancel some attacks. And you want to try and find that sweet spot to get middle ground at all times. Or if you're trying to keep him predictable anyway. Sometimes he's going to dash around a little bit. That's something you have to play around. But you got to see it coming. And JD here is taking a lot of hits here. Gets his hemorrhage reset. Unfortunately. DPS-wise, was doing pretty okay. And there we go. Gets everything on the board. Staggers him a little bit. Gets some shots in the air. Looking at about 6,000. So almost got him down. It is getting behind Mithrix after every time he jumps up. He does remain looking in the same position. Which is nice. And, oh god, that's death. Oh, jeez. We'll see that one more time. Let's get that in a replay. Instant replay here. Runs. Yeah, that's a quail jump. Wait, is that quail? No, not even quail. Just didn't try to turn back in time. Reaction time a little bit too slow and takes that last death. And with that, it's going to be a DNF. Again, JD played it really well. at the start was just a little bit behind the other racers, but just needed to whether it was tilt or something, needs a little bit more time to figure out the moon. And hopefully can figure it out soon as we move on to loadout number 2. Unless Cheese isn't gonna... Is this a Cheese moment? This is a Cheese. Oh, wait, no, it's Mayan. Yeah. 36:52 is for... Maybe Mayan's looking at Kenz's time? Nope. Realizes... Calls the timeout. And that's gonna be conceded. Let's get the Jets Pizza replay on that one. Huntress time. Arrow Rain Huntress. Phase Blink Huntress. Stages? Let's see. We do have Aqueduct, so there could be some bands. Could be some pot rolling. Huntress pot rolling. Or you could use the Phase Blink and kind of boop the pots a little bit. A safe route, a safe strategy. But again, with no bonus points on the board, with none present, still anyone's race. As long as any racer, again, gets double bonus points, they will at least get a tiebreaker round. Now, to get double bonus points is no easy feat. They have to beat all the other racers by at least 10 minutes. And as I would even say, right, go as far as to say that that's going to be really, really hard to do with Arrow Rain Huntress. Or not Arrow... Sorry, not the Arrow Rain part. The Phase Blink. Phase Blink Huntress is probably the easiest survivor to not die on. It's almost impossible to die of fall damage when you have not only your Arrow Rain or Ballista, whatever ability you have, it's Arrow Rain in this case, but you also have just something every, like, 2 seconds that pops up. It's like, oh, I will not die of fall damage, I will not die of fall damage. To die of fall damage with Phase Blink Huntress is... I don't know. That's comedy right there. If it's ever happened to you, I'm sorry. It's probably happened to me once, but probably won't see that today, right? Every 2 seconds, if you see yourself in a bad spot, you can just reorient yourself. I think Huntress is one of the survivors that whether it be racers or just normal people, like, just playing the game. When it comes to climbing, Eclipse is typically the first one to get to Eclipse 8, right? Enemies might shoot faster, they might move faster. You might take that permanent health loss, but you already have barely any max health to begin with. You're already a fast survivor. You're already what are the other things? You don't really take any fall damage because you have Phase Blink. They might attack faster, but again, you move fast. They move fast, but you move fast. Eclipse doesn't really affect Huntress that much. Aside from, like, the no money part, I feel like E6 is probably the biggest impact on Huntress. Oh. Ken's taking a huge hit there. You do have to be careful if you do get hit, though. These things can get kind of terrifying. Even at EXP level 3, you only have, what is that, like 120, 140 max hit points? Oh, geez, Ken's is in deep trouble. Ken's down to 46 health, needs to finish off this Beetle Queen. Oh, God, I mean, we were talking all about the easy parts of playing Huntress, but you also got to just not get hit, and Ken's is doing exactly not that. It's getting hit by a lot of Wisps, getting hit by a lot of Beetle Guards. The Beetle Guards are starting to overwhelm, and the Wisps aren't able to be shot as a result. Is using the Arrow Raid, though, on the Beetle Queen. Personally, I'd be using that on the guards to try and just eliminate them. And there's a feather in the center. If you can get to that feather, you don't want to just beeline right to it, because you could easily just take a Sunder. JD trying to deal with this Mending Beetle. Mending Beetle on the Beetle Queen. Making it very hard to deal damage. Alright, this loadout, I wouldn't say it's the lowest DPS in the game. If we had Flurry, then it would be. A lot of feathers on this stage, though. You see Karn taking a feather before even activating TP. Is trying to play it safe, maybe not the most comfortable with Arrow Rain. Does have a feather, though. It's going to make life a lot easier when the Beetle Guards start coming out. Has 3 slugs? There's... What are the items on this stage? You get 3 slugs, you get 2 feathers. What next? Are we going to see 4 Hunter's Harpoons? What's going on? Well, Ken's kind of gets the idea after getting the 3rd slug, thinking, okay, this is kind of weird. This is kind of dumb. Especially at Huntress. You don't need 3 slugs. Ugh. Oh, man. E7 definitely making the Beetle Queen a pain. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like, I mean, from personal experience, I don't really struggle with Beetle Queens once you kind of get it figured out, once you have your movement down, even with Arrow Rain. Right, because at least with the Arrow Rain, when you get a huge buildup of the Beetle Guards, if you just dodge all their Sunders and kind of bunch them up via running in circles, eventually you just... Yeah, look at that. You're getting like 4, 5, 6 enemies hit at the same time. They just all die after like 2 or 3 Arrow Rains. You know, it's kind of a hot take that I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for. I personally prefer Arrow Rain on stage 1 dealing with Beetle Queens. I just do. I don't like it when I'm using my Ballista and it just auto-targets onto random Beetle Guards and then I can't get the Beetle Queen as a result. And then, right, I'm still just getting about as much damage off on the Queen anyways with the Rain. And the Rain is hitting like 3, 4, 5, 6 Beetle Guards because there's just nothing but enemies, right? See, there's Karn already done with everything. Didn't really even get hurt once from that whole encounter. And we see a Void Cradle on the bridge, down bottom left on Ken's screen. That's a Void Band. Probably don't need that, right? You want to get damage. Burst would be good, but you don't really have much burst currently. I guess it's more AoE, but you've got... I don't know, I guess the Void Band you can... If I'm going to go ahead and defend Arrow Raid a bunch... Uh-oh. This is the God Pot spot. Ken's almost just broke that pot right next to that button. As again, on Abandoned Aqueduct, as all 4 racers are on Abandoned Aqueduct. And even Disturby got through that Beetle Guard or Beetle Queen easy peasy without a problem. Okay, Disturby's stepping up the game. On the same pace as all the other racers. Again, Disturby needs to get at least in 3rd place to have... Wait, is it 3rd place? Yeah, 3rd place to have any shot at all of getting into the tournament. But with JD getting no points in that first loadout, also getting a DNF, right? If Disturby can beat JD, will guarantee get 3rd place. Could even do better. I mean, it's on the same pace, has the same items as everyone else. We'll see. Maybe Disturby's been waiting for this moment the whole time. It's been like climbing Huntress with the phase blink and it's like zooming ahead, already done with E8. I don't know. It's been a few weeks since I've seen any updates on her progress, but looking pretty good so far. As we get Stone Titan as the stage 2 boss. The TP right next to that button spot. You don't want to end up losing that. You don't want to end up losing the bands. And you probably actually don't want to take the Void Band now. I'm thinking about it a little bit more. Because there's pot rolling, and there's that God Pot. Or God Button. I don't know why we're assigning Godhood to buttons and pots, but here we are in the year 2024 in the hosting league. As Ken's is slowly dealing with the Stone Titan still. As Karn is still playing it really slow, hasn't even activated TP. Still the only racer to be on the TP, actually. It's Ken's. Ken's maybe a little bit more comfortable with Huntress over the other racers. And that's an Ignition Tank. Okay. Huge play, huge moment. You really don't have to go that... Oh, did the button just... I think the super button just broke. Or super pot. On Disturby, a few other pots just broke out as well. Disturby out of pots near the TP, or near the button. There's another chrono? Where? Where's the double chrono? Oh, Ken's. Oh boy. Get that 3-second slow duration. There's so many nice things about Huntress. You don't have to really aim about anything in this loadout. This is like the least aim loadout in the game. All you gotta do is just look at something and hold M1. And you can constantly sprint. I think that's also a big thing. Since all of Huntress's abilities are agile, right, you can look at Disturby. Right, Disturby, who was kind of struggling a little bit with strafing and going in circles, trying to handle all the enemies. When you can have agile in all of your abilities, and you're not someone like Mercenary where you have to purposely break your circles and go in little lines and cut across, it makes things a lot simpler, a lot easier, so you can focus down on some of the other aspects like going fast. Like Ken's is here, right? Karn isn't even done with the stage 2 TP yet. But Ken's just completely skipped out on bans, which I kind of question that, given, I mean, at least take the singularity if you don't want the normal bans. I don't know, maybe Ken's is thinking back to the first loadout where there was an ice band and a tri-shop, and she already had the singularity. He was thinking, not this time. JD done with the TP boss. JD actually a little bit ahead of Karn. Okay. We're about neck and neck right now. Both wanting to loot up, both with like the exact same amount of money even. But JD's going for buttons. Hopefully there's no Lemurian that's randomly going to shoot a fireball and break the pot as JD's rolling it. That'll totally stink. As there's, oh my god. Oh my god. Shattering Justice is found in a large chest down at the bottom of the valley on Karn. Karn has a H0sting. A Shattering Justice that Ken's doesn't have. Ken's only has the Cautious Slugs and Chrono Bobbles, right? I think maybe this might also be a thing of experience where while Ken's, yes, is playing as... Oh, it's a larva. Well, if you die now, you'll lose the ability to get crit, which is a lot of damage being lost. A Pluripotent larva, though, if there's a Scrapper, I mean, you get Tentabobble as well. It's not really going to do much for you. Yeah, what could you get? Maybe like hopefully something pops up. A ukulele? An ATG? Anything would be nice. Oh, Karn also did buttons. Okay. I think he actually did it preemptively. And Ken's opts to take the movement speed item. I think that's the first one. Which, I mean, not bad. Again, Ken's only damage is a ocular, or not ocular HUD, a lens maker glasses, and a harvester scythe. And that is literally all of the damage items in the 12 minutes of this race that Ken's has picked up. I guess a bundle of fireworks as well. Needs something. And equipment would go a long way, actually. There you go. That boss damage, 20% more. I'm gonna add into that. Oh my god. Oh, with the Disturby. You cannot afford to die right now. Right, you gotta at least beat JD if you're Disturby. And Disturby down to 40, 50, 60. Okay, triple slug, you can see it kicking in live action. Even with the 50% healing debuff, that's what 3 slugs does for you. Disturby hopefully doesn't get attacked by the Stone Titan Fist. Does not. Gets 99% of the TP charge. And hopefully with just a couple more arrow rains, a couple more glaives, should have this down. Another crit found for Ken's. And maybe Flurry would have been the right goal as Ken's goes down to 42 health. Has 77 curse. Oh my god. Stone Titan's about to level up for poor Disturby here. So it's down to 87 health, 97 health. There we go. Gets it killed. Actually still had like another half minute before the level up. That's really cringe in one of the highlights. I kept thinking that there was going to be a level up on one of the enemies as, oh, Disturby finds the Shattering Justice and JD has it as well. JD with both bands as well. A little bit behind Karn. But, oh, Ken's has a disadvantage. If you get Shattering Justice active on an enemy, I think you end up doing 30-some% more damage, assuming it has 0 armor. It's a lot. Because that multiplies off of everything. It's not just like, oh, you could call it like, oh, I guess they have a watch or something. Yeah, well, it's a red item, and it multiplies off the watch. It multiplies off your focus crystals, your armor-piercing rounds. It's another multiplier on everything else. Is the armor factor. And on top of that, if you get things like empathy cores, if you get things like, oh my god, Ken's is really scaring me. Down to 120 health here. 89 curse, only about 200 max HP, give or take. You're at the 15-minute mark where the enemies are level 10, and there's is that a Templar? Oh, jeez, Ken's is in trouble. The last Templar almost took her out. That might have been the same one. Penny's immediately gone for by Disturby. Loses crit. Oh, no. At least has pennies. That's something that Karn didn't go for. Karn doesn't really believe in pennies, now does he? I think that's something I've noticed. Wait, let me just double check to make sure I'm not accusing of something that's not. Yep, no pennies. Has some scrap, too. Maybe might go for it after the TP event. Maybe he's thinking about looting stage 4 and stage 5 instead. Though stage 4 is Sundered Grove, which is kind of terrifying of a stage. And this stage, I mean, oof. I feel like if you have pennies, this is like the best stage to loot in the game. That are sulfur pools. Man, sulfur pools, everything is so tightly packed and super up close. No one really thinks about that. Right, you get a lot of equipment. The only downside of sulfur pools, in my opinion, is the boss items are trash. But aside from that, I mean, everything, like, you can see nothing but those equipment tri-shops. Everything's out in the open on this small stage where nothing's really hidden away unless you have to go into the cave. But then you deal with Xi constructs and other stuff, so it's pretty tough. Blind pests. This is like sulfur pools, but easy. But everything's spread out more. And the boss items are good. But you don't get equipment barrels. Okay, I'm on a tangent here. Ken's here, realizing that the damage is really bad, goes for a blue portal, gets so Ben's raincoat and I believe a band of some sort. Doesn't want to give up the crit, doesn't want to give up the AP round. Maybe it was a bandolier. I wasn't quite sure what I saw in there. Ken's, if you're in chat, feel free to spoil what you saw the blue portal. I give you permission. Oh my god, instant value. No, double larva. Hey, cool. I mean, that's 2 chances to try and get something like poly if you accidentally die on the stage. But there's bans if you do die, and if you do end up trying to game that system, you don't want to get the bans yet. And it's actually kind of a good thing that Ken's didn't go for the bans on stage 2. If there's a ukulele, if there's a needle, oh yeah, Ken's will get needle tick. That's gonna be good. Die for void key. Oh, who has keys? Oh, Karn has keys. That's not a bad idea. Oh, Ken's does as well. But Karn has bans, it doesn't want to lose bans. Oh, I honestly don't hate that idea. Right, you got double larva, and it kind of sucks that you're going to have to purposely die. But right before, like, a next stage or something, I would just purposely die at full damage for Void Key and try and get something good. I would end up losing crit damage, but to do it for Polyloot or something of the sort would be nice. I would not pick up a Kajaros ban, though. Oh boy. Okay, Ken's is not thinking about going down that route. He's probably thinking just more about, you know, if it happens, it happens, and then there could be a Polyloot or something nice. How are the other racers doing? The Serbia's chilling in the stage 2 TP. Oh, actually taking a lot of hits though. But you can see this is where Disturby's a lot more comfortable with. I think we've noticed. It's definitely been doing the Hunter's Climb. Oh, geez, Beetle Guard Thunder kicks in. It's gonna run away though. Has triple slug, can heal up. Assuming no wisps shoot her. Man, this is a 4-way race. Are these pre-recorded? Yes, these are pre-recorded. The referee and the racers already know what happens here, but I and everyone else have no idea. The reason why we do pre-recorded is if we didn't, if technical difficulties pop up or things like that in a 28-person league, it can sometimes take like half an hour, and no one wants to sit through that. Right, if this were just like a show match league, if there was nothing on the line, that would be fine. But we want to make sure the environment is as fair and normal as possible. And on top of that, with 28 different people trying to meet up with each other throughout the course of 7 weeks, trying to get them to meet up on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday from like 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is pretty tough. And Ken's is actually taking a lot of hits from this Stone Titan. Yeah, if you have any questions, Imp, we got a website for like all the standings and everything else. If you've taken a notice with the numbers next to each of the racers' names, that determines their current position. This is currently in week 6 of 7. So the racers here, as JD actually gets the Dio. Let me just point that out real quick. Huge moment there, double extra life. But they've got this week, or this race, and then just one more week's worth of racing before we get into the tournament. And so JD got the extra life, got the Dio's best friend on stage 4 from the stage 3 from Russell Lockbox, which means with more keys in hand. There could be another. There's gonna be another rusted item for JD as we actually get a little bit of a freeze here. Oh boy. Most of week 7's already been played. Actually, all of week 7's been played. Believe it or not, the whole league is done to an extent at this point. We just have to watch all of week 7 and the rest of this race here for week 6. And we can thank the devotion update for making that being the case. If you didn't know that, devotion update kind of gave us about a 3-day delay, 5-day delay on everything. That's okay. The racers here, by the way, as we're going through the rest of stage 4, Ken's is really struggling with his Stone Titan. Karn is doing a lot better. Has actually no movement speed aside from a red whip. Loses a watch. Uh-oh. That's not good. And if your Karn also, if you end up dying, you get sucked into Void Band territory. Right, from going for those bands on stage 2, right? Didn't know about the pluripotent larva, just wanted some damage, but also wanted an extra life. Was thinking maybe, not the end of the world to take this larva. If I die, I don't lose 5 minutes, which is a fair assessment. But now, Ken's, oh my god, Ken's and Karn, the whole left side of the screen just really in trouble. Karn thankfully using the power of 3 slugs, and same with Ken's. Right, easy to dodge as Huntress. And right as I say that, Ken's dies. So what ends up happening to Ken's here? Well, the good news is, as we were talking about earlier, there is a encrusted key now. You don't want to die again. You want to hold on to that other pluripotent larva. So you might actually end up getting a ukulele down the line, and that can turn into a polylute. You can end up getting an ATG, that could turn into plasma shrimp. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, a lot of damage getting dealt. Again, the stage 1 didn't really have anything for damage, as it was nothing but cautious slugs and feathers. No gasoline either for these racers, despite the ignition tank. And the boss item is a chronobubble. Oh boy. Ken's is trying to finish charging off the TP now. Ken's the only one that didn't go for bans. Really kind of feeling it, but at the same time not, because of the death. Right now, just a void band. Oh, jeez. Almost dead again. You don't want to lose that second extra life. And now Disturby even activating the TP. Right, remember that Ken's also didn't find the Shattering Justice? Oh my god, that larva. There was a glacial larva right behind Disturby. Disturby's fine though. Disturby's actually chilling outside the TP. Gets a little bit of pennies accidentally. We'll see what happens. Right, it's been deathless so far. despite not even having that many super good items aside from the feather. Right, not even any movement speed items aside from the one energy drink. Actually, I think just phase blinked away from an overloading orb. Uh-oh. Okay, we just talked about fall damage and Huntress. And hopefully Disturby doesn't die. Hopefully... Oh, gee, this is a bad spot. You gotta get behind the rock. Oh my god, no. Takes a death. -1 life. Ends up with an encrusted key, though. Will be good later down the line. Did not get a +5. Did not end up getting... Oh, wait, no. Was already stuck with Void Bands. Okay. Not the end of the world. But might be if there's a ukulele at any point. JD is done with killing all the enemies. And, oh... Doing so well up to this point, Disturby finally takes a death. Still just dealing with so many Stone Titans. Is this a Mountain Shrine? No, no Mountain Shrine. Just double Titan. And lack of AoE, right? The only AoE being Void Band and Arrow Rain. For just about all these racers here. I don't think I see a single Gasoline on anyone. I don't see a single Will-O-Wisp. I don't see a single Ukulele. No Proc Chain. And you can just see Karn, who's been kind of playing it somewhat slow, is probably in the best position right now. Right? Didn't lose the Larvas, only lost a Watch. Sees... Oh, that's what he saw. There is a armor-piercing round printer. We're getting a little bit of a freeze. I'm sorry about that. Again, there was a little bit of technical difficulty throughout this race. We'll probably, when the freeze is over, we'll see Karn printing AP rounds with all 6 scrap. Oh, apparently there's a Dune Strider up here. They got stuck. Yeah, and Ken's is doing the same thing. Both saw it. Mid-TP. I believe JD did as well. JD scrapping a bunch of white items. Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone I'm assuming is seeing this printer that's just hanging out right outside. And Karn activates the TP, has picked up... Is that 9? 9 armor-piercing rounds? Something like that. A huge amount as Disturby takes death number 2. Oh my god, there's 3 Stone Titans on Disturby, I just realized. So we see a Void crit from an Arrow Rain hit a Mushroom. This is where Karn speeds ahead, you think? Oh, you're saying that with gamble points on Ken's. I don't know. I mean, Ken's gets Void Sent Flame here, which is a little bit of AoE, and there's a Zai construct that Karn's gonna have to deal with. The only thing you really have if you're Karn is... And we see a decent amount of damage already, but that's just because of Crowbar. Things are going to slow down, and speaking of slowing down, is Disturby, who is doing so good up to this TP event, now taking the 4th death. Hopefully gets that armor-piercing round printer. Hopefully has something that just changes the outcome here. Report Disturby as double lasers are kicking in. Really starting to struggle, really starting to tilt. Ken's only has 5 AP rounds. It's hard to tell. I can't tell how many AP rounds Karn has. It might be double digits. I'm not sure. No, it's definitely not. I'm guessing 9. But with the freeze, and then with the tiny HUD, I'll never know. It'll be a mystery until the end of time. Small damage chest opened up on Karn. It's a... Oh my god, there it is. There it is. And Karn's happy. And the only advantage that Ken's had, like holding on to that Void Sent Flame, yeah, Ken's also has the gasoline now. Good news is that Zai is going to be melted. Right, you get the first hits on the alpha constructs, and then the Void Sent kicks in, and then the gasoline finishes them off. But that's going to be nice, and also... Oh, even Disturby up at the top here gets a Shuriken. Ken's not get the Shuriken? Oh, she didn't. It's just blind printing, dodging the Stone Titan Fists. Which honestly, I mean, like, what do you want to keep that's a white item? It's not really much. And actually, speaking of which, I'm surprised Ken's kept 3 medkits instead of like using the scrapper right next to TP. Could be at 8 AP rounds right now, or at least hold on to an extra few scrap. Maybe he just forgot about it, didn't think about it. Or maybe just understands the true value of medkit. There's a medkit printer there. Go all in. Just messing around, of course. JD took a little personal time out after that TP event. I don't think JD died. Did he? I don't know. He's going full Dan, though. Probably in the bathroom. Oh, you did? Okay. Was frozen. Oh, got tagged by the dude strider. Oh, and that's how you died? Damn. Okay. Yeah, completely missed that. That's worth taking a breather, taking a bathroom break, getting a drink, change up your music. Man, Disturby's really going into the sprinter. I'm loving the energy here. And first equipment. Keep in mind, there's been 4 stages. We have seen 0 equipment barrels. And now we're suddenly seeing 2 as Karn gets not only a Samarang that's on the ground, but a Ring-On Accumulator. Karn, who hasn't died yet, the only one, I believe, to have normal band still. That's huge damage. Probably not going to use it right now. It's just going to use Samarang. Let's use a Mountain Shrine. You can't get Overloading Worms, I believe, until the 37-minute mark. Oh, wait, what happened to Ken's? What? Oh, jeez. Easy Sawtech spot. You know, that is a good point, Cap. We did see Sawtech just last run from Ken's. And I know Karn knows it as well. That's a good point. Being Huntress. Well, I just realized Karn's username. Baby Mama. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that way at the start, was it? Did that change? No, that can't change midway. That must just been a week-to-week thing. Okay, but how did Ken's die? Was that from the Zai construct? It just says dead. DED. Oh, man. And now we've got just back-to-back pauses up top. Nope, never mind. There was an Elder. Okay. Ken's actually almost just died of fall damage. I know I just made that joke earlier about Phase Blade Huntress and fall damage, but looks like it's definitely technically possible here. Oh, geez. 2018, 5-1. 1 health? 1 health? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Literally 1 health alive. The Bison Stake saving Ken's. Literally saved by a stake. Literally saved by 1 hit point wherever it came through. I was joking about medkits. I guess that? A lot of stuff just kicked in, and right there, oh my God, as poor Disturby takes death number 5, Ken's almost took death number 2, was down to 1 hit point, but is still in this. As long as Ken's can overcome and hope that Karn just dies. I mean, we'll see. Ken's doesn't have any equipment. Karn does. Karn's going to be able to activate TP and probably have an easy fight. Ken's going to have to rely on the grandparent the whole time here. Jeez, 1 health. 1 health. What's that saying? They always say it in, like, I'm sure they say it in Valorant as well. There was an old saying, 1 HP in a dream. Where you pull off with 1 health, there's like 3 some people alive, but you just get 1 tap, 1 tap, 1 tap, boom, done. And we'll see if Ken's can pull it off, but back up to full health here, back in this fight. Still has half the health on the grandparent, but it's getting everything killed with the sun. And still has a shot to come back and win this. And what a comeback that would be. If from 1 health, Ken's can overcome the death. Maybe Karn might die. Karn down to 100 health, almost died. Definitely not as close of an almost death. Ken's finding a cheeky little spot to charge the TP while the grandparent continues the suns. Gotta be careful. Oh. Too late. I was just about to say, you got to be careful when standing still like that. It just takes one thing. You might not even see it. It might be a mushroom. It might be an elder from behind, a bell from behind. Who knows? But if you stand still for more than like 3 seconds, I feel, when you're trying to pull something off. I think that was from a blazing shungite that spawned right there. Yeah. And Kens just wasn't looking around. And just popped them. Now a double death here. Man. And all of that for not. Maybe it would have been at 3 deaths here if not for that save, though. Almost just got popped by an elder again. Teleported into its mouth. Thankfully no fireballs came out. JD plus 5? Oh, might be a JD plus 10. Oh, jeez. JD who activated TP has a vase. I don't know where that came from. Wherever it did, though. I mean, thankfully... I mean, honestly, I would rather take a damage item if I was JD. An Arrow Rain Huntress, even with the 7 AP rounds. So we're seeing the only thing that can just about be damaged at all. Oh, Disturby just decides to quit after the death loop. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, yeah. Karn has the, or JD has the vase. Yeah, that's good. That's right. Good call on the equipment. But yeah, GG to Disturby. Again, was playing it really good up to a point, and then just got overwhelmed by, well, Arrow, Rain, and Huntress. Which honestly, I don't blame her. Right? There's concede buttons there for a reason. Right? And maybe just a little too frustrated with the quit there. But we carry on. We still got 3 racers here. Everyone's still fighting the grandparent, going through the stage 5 TP. Everyone really neck and neck, right? I guess, I mean, Karn hasn't even lost a single one of the larvas yet. And because of that, still has the bans, is trying to play off of a Prion setup. Right. And has 9 AP rounds. I feel like Karn can just one-shot, right? Has a crowbar. Oh my god, almost died. If Karn dies, it's really not good. 98, 99. Oh no! Oh! Had it at 99%, but the bell comes in and shoots, and suddenly Karn, without a... Well, the watch was already gone, but doesn't have bans anymore, and suddenly it's like, well, there goes my Prion. And that's a death for JD, who's also dying a lot, also not feeling the greatest right now. And same with Kens at 3 deaths, and Karn is just really taking this ahead, even with the death that happened, right? You could still do Saw Tech, even with losing the crit, even losing the bans. Samurai could still get you what you want. It's just a little more difficult, and you don't have phase 1. And no answer for phase 1. Caster's Curse. I didn't even say anything. Can we just call every death Caster's Curse now? Jeez. Oh, man. Karn checking underneath the stage. Finds, well, that would have been nice about a couple seconds ago. Yep, types rip in chat. Rip indeed. As now at 4 void bans is Karn, but little does Karn know that literally every other racer, as Kens takes death number 4, as JD takes death number 4, it's actually really close between Kens and JD. If they don't get too many more deaths and they can come back a little bit, try and pull something off. I mean, it might just be a double DNF for both racers here. Karn might just end up stealing this race. And having a the Karn sweep. We haven't had that one yet. We had the Klowski sweep this last race, but this here, as JD takes death number 5, really not happy about that, right? This whole time is just stuck with a vase, and in Kens's case, stuck with no equipment. I almost feel like that's the huge difference between these racers here on this stage. I mean, aside from Karn not dying until literally the 100% mark. Do we have a term for that, where people die at the 100% mark of the TP charge? It feels like it happens to me all the time when I try. I'll sometimes boot up Risk of Rain, trying to do some scrimming with some of the other racers. Oh man, not even a teddy bear for anyone. As death number 6 now happens for JD, still has half the TP to go. But the good news for Ken's is at least the TP's done charging. But that vase is not helping. Karn, it's like, alright, I'm going to play Risk of Rain 2 as Arrow Raid Huntress. I've got a bunch of AP rounds, but I'm going to have to deal with crowds. That's where Samurai came in. Boom. That's where the Prion was ideally there for. But Vase, I mean, what are you going to do with Vase? I'm going to move halfway across the map as Huntress with Arrow Rain. Right, it's always something that you want to think about. It's like, oh, Vase. It's always really cool. It's like, speedrun activate. Sucks for Karn? I disagree. I think the Prion came from a different area. I think the Samarang would be the better choice, even if there was a base. Right, this is 40 minutes real time. I would do Pillars, personally. Or at the very least, get a teddy bear. And then die. And then you have safer spaces. But crowd control is just so bad. I guess during the Mithrix fight, you would want the Vase. But Phase 3 is just going to be free. And there's Stompers. Boom. So that doesn't even matter. 9 AP rounds, head stompers, an extra life. Karn's got this in the bag. JD's death looping, considering about conceding. If concede happens, we'll end up tying for 4th place, though. Not something that you want, but something that's probably going to happen anyways. As Karn's in the Mithrix fight here, and as Ken's ends up with the Vase, it's going to be able to save a tiny bit of time if you can only just get over there. Right, there is a perfected Chimera Wisp, and Ken's thankfully goes over to the soups. Imagine if you got the head stompers and you still had the bands. Oh man. And there we go. There's stompers. Loses ignition tanks, who cares? Boom. Pillar skip. Don't even gotta wait for anything else. Can just go up. Oh, there's a band. Oh, right. Oh, that hurts so much, man. There's a band printer and a soup. No, there's a band soup and a head stomper soup. Right, so even if you like lost the fire band or ice band, you can just pick them back up. The fire band isn't really all that good with stomping Mithrix because he just bounces out of the way and doesn't get hurt by it much. It's kind of hard to pull that one off. And now Ken's the second one into the fight. Only at the 62-minute mark will at least be able to get in second place in this loadout. Assuming that not too many more deaths happen. As for JD at this point, now 8 deaths behind Karn. Right, well actually 9 deaths, but has the 5-minute breather from earlier. Just has a few percents more to go on the TP. Gets in. See 98, 99, boom, done. Finally. It's gonna be able to loot up and get some items. So it's a harpoon. Mithrix is already almost dead on Karn for phase 1. Doesn't even have Quail. But with all those feathers from stage 1, at least able to get a little bit of stomp value. Oh, poor JD about to find the band underneath. Oh, here it goes. Singularity Band. I mean, not much to talk about at this point in the race. Right, Karn being 4 deaths ahead. JD, I mean, we'll get to the moon. Hopefully we'll check the soups and try to get stompers. Maybe might be able to just have a faster Mithrix fight with the 4 singularity bands with is that 7 AP rounds. Sticky Bomb maybe gets a little bit of luck. It's a little bit behind. I mean, No, I'm thinking too much. Phase 2 is going to be 2 seconds long. One stomp, everything's dead. Especially with that crowbar in hand. Ooh. Ken's about halfway through phase 1, but only with 5 AP rounds instead of Karn's 9. Right? Made the choice not to get rid of the medkits. Which we see, I mean, there's many other things we could use to point to, but... Ooh, at least has the vase. You can use the vase if you're Ken's, and just look straight up and then get some stomps that way. Maybe you might be trying to save it for phase 2, but I would just use it right now. Definitely reusables. Ooh! With the encrusted key, didn't find it on stage 5, but gets it on stage 6 unless it was a double encrusted setup for JD, but has a plasma shrimp. It's gonna maybe go to soup. After all that stage 5 TP is probably... Oh! Doesn't go for it. Got the one ping, saw Harvest the Scythe. It's like, alright, that's one of 5 items I checked. I tried. Gets it to the Mithrix fight. And opts to pause for a quick sec. Has the music blasting. It's getting ready, getting pumped. Doesn't have the head stompers, unfortunately, again. As still at a bit of a loss of words. Karn double... What? Oh man, what happened there? Karn like double phase blinked, but Mithrix... Like, he landed on Mithrix anyway, or something. I'm not sure what happened. But takes a death. Thankfully has 2 extra lives, though. Uses extra life number 2. Doesn't lose any watches or anything like that. Just kind of a bummer that if there's a pizza that comes in, like right now, could end up with a death. And that's something that Ken's needs. Ken's is going to need to see like a plus 10 kick in. Just an out of the blue, Giga double death. Oh my god, did you see that void damage? That was off a stomp, wasn't it? Jeez. How many vans is that? Oh, jeez. I mean, the vase is actually getting really good value. You can just go up and then... Has Ken's been doing that? I don't want to look at too much of that. Is using Glaive while M1ing actually more DPS than straight M1ing? Glaive is nice for an air stall. Against Mithrix, though, that's about it. It's an air stall. I'd probably just keep doing the M1. See, like, it's about 3 arrows or something. Does it start at 300% damage? 300 or 350. Oh my god, Ken's gets killed mid-stomp. Oh, man. And now at 5 deaths. I mean, you gotta be careful if you can. So you can't take too many more deaths. Karn's gonna be able to finish off the TP, probably before you're done with phase 4. Yeah, there we go, Ken's. Use the value. Boom, that's a stop. Void Band. It's gonna kill it anyway. There we go, that's like 6,000 Void Band damage. Yeah, there goes Karn. Oh, Ken's might actually DNF this. I mean, Karn's gonna finish at about, let's say, 49 minutes? So 89 minutes is the cutoff. If Ken's ends up dying once or twice more times, or 2 or 3 more times, they'll be cut into close, even with the stompers there. And that's a death. Unable to avoid. I mean, again, take a look at the movement speed items, right? Ken's has 1 energy drink and 2 mocha. Karn, pretty much the same setup. Actually, even less movement speed. I don't see a single energy drink on Karn. A single movement speed item, for that matter. Other than, oh, wait, no. Hunter's Harpoon is a speed item. Red Whip's a speed item, too. That was really it. Ken's energy drink, double mocha. It's decent enough, but it's still not that good. I guess Stealth Kit and War Banner if you're in Cope Town. If you're in technically town. And Ken's now at 83 minutes. I mean, Ken's can't die again. Needs to focus up. Is getting in a little bit of a death loop mindset. As I mean, anyone dealing with Arrow Rain Huntress would be at this point. After the 6th or 7th death, after shooting 8 trillion arrows, only to see Mithrix's health go down by 5%. We see 48-48 as the final time for Karn? Yes. 48-48 is the final time for Karn. Finally, we get a finish. But in a race that was under an hour, but felt like it was 3. Karn finishes up in first place, and we see time to complete 48. Oh wait, no, it's time to complete. It's going to be 88-88 or 88-48. There we go. Karn most certainly gets double bonus points. Is the winner of this race. JD concedes, and we'll get to see what happens to Ken's here. It's not looking too good. It's only 4 minutes to finish. If you do this deathless, you can get 2 points, which could be good for raw points, right? End at 4, which wouldn't be bad. You know, Karn really took full advantage of this race. I mean, look at that. 8 points, first place. Well done, Karn. Didn't need a vase, got a free handout, thankfully, with the Stompers. And, oh, there's Void damage. Void Band. You saw it first. No, first was Karn. I don't even get to say that. Oh no, Kens misses the vase, but honestly that's for good. Because here comes Pizza, and you want to not die. You don't want to get hit by this. Dodges all 5. Oh my god, that was close. At the last second. Was it a harpoon moment? Is there a harpooning? Yes, there is. Ken's almost got harpooned. Getting tickled a little bit. Oh, geez, gotta be careful. Use that feather for good. There you go. Not really able to pull off any stomps right now safely. That's where most of the deaths came in during Phase 2 was from the stomps, but in some ways you kind of have to start pulling them out. Only 2.5 minutes to go. And, oh, there we go, it's a full stomp. There we go, everything gets hit. Imagine that with, like, ATG or Uke. That could have been like a double, triple proc on Mithrix. Said we're left with Sadness and Void Band. Thankfully, only have 1 for Ken's. Ken's down to what, a minute 48 to kill Phase 4? Oh, jeez. It's kind of close. It's going to get 1 more vase, maybe 2. I think 2 more vase attempts here. Here we go, you gotta go. It's a little far. Mithrix is gonna... Oh, Void Band's gonna mess with this, maybe. Does not. He would have Spooch and Boss. Welcome in. I mean, Ken's got 1 minute. The damage is just getting slower and slower. As more and more enemies are coming in, we're getting a classic case of Huntress. Using the pillars. There we go. Is Void Band active? No. And down to 1 minute. I mean, you gotta somehow pull off a Phase 4 skip. Arrow Rain? The Arrow Rain skip off a stomp right here? Oh. I mean, not only does a skip have to happen, but Phase 4 needs to be dead. I don't know. It's so sad. It's so close. The good news for Ken's is even if this isn't a completion, at the very least... Right. Yeah, no Phase 4 skip, no Mithrix dead. At the very least, you still get in second place. It's not the end of the world. We'll see. I mean, 20 seconds? It's going to be so close. Just took so many deaths in phase 2 there. Oh my god. Nope, 6 seconds. That's not going to be it. It's going to be not enough time. And in such an aggravating fashion. That's a DNF. Ouch. There's got to be a cutoff somewhere. And in this case, by mere seconds, I think Maya's just going to let it play out just in case. But sadly, that goes over. By what, like... Yeah. Unfortunate. GG. That was a good attempt. We do have a policy in case you're wondering why, you know, talking about DNFs or concedes or something like that. If a racer isn't done with Phase 4 of Mithrix within 40 minutes of first place's finish, it counts as a forced concede. Which that was like really on the line. If just a little bit better would have counted, but I mean, with so many attempts, whether it be, you know, on phase 2, took so many deaths in stage 5, it just all added up, and well, at least he got second. I'll say that. But GG, well played again. Shout out to Karn, played it really well, played it really tough all the way through till the end. Right, and overcame the stage 5 100% death. Had like 1% to go. So GG to Karn. And that's actually going to be Karn's first place, I believe. No, I think Karn's won one other race. Average arrow rain, yeah. I don't know, I feel like arrow rain, or with this specific race,